I never thought the man I wanted most would also be the one trying to destroy me in court. But that was the kind of twisted irony the universe loved to throw at me. And God, it hurt like hell. Ethan Cole was my sworn rival in the courtroom. The man whose voice could turn jurors' hearts to stone, and whose smirk made my blood boil. Every case felt like a battlefield between us, his sharp arguments slicing into mine with surgical precision. The jury adored him, the judges respected him. And me? I hated him. I told myself I did. But then night would fall, and the sharp edges of our rivalry dissolved. Behind locked doors and drawn curtains, he wasn't the smug prosecutor anymore. He was Ethan, the man whose lips lingered on mine, whose hands pulled me close as if I was the only safe place he had left in this brutal world. I should have known better than to let it happen. Lawyers like us weren't supposed to blur the lines. Our reputations depended on being ruthless, detached, untouchable. Yet, every time I swore it would be the last night, I'd find myself at his door again, heart pounding, craving the heat of his body, the tenderness he showed me when no one else was watching. The first time it happened, I told myself it was an accident. We'd just finished tearing each other apart in a case that left the whole courthouse buzzing. I stormed into the bar down the street, ordered something stronger than I should have, and there he was sitting at the counter like he owned the place, jacket off, tie loosened, eyes sparkling with the same fire I saw in the courtroom. One drink became two, then three. Sarcasm turned into confessions. His hand brushed mine when I reached for the glass, and instead of pulling back, I let it linger. Minutes later, we were in the back of a cab, his mouth on my neck, my hands clutching at him like a drowning man refusing to let go. It was supposed to end there, just one reckless mistake. But the problem with desire is that once it sinks its claws into you, it doesn't let go. Now, weeks later, we were caught in a vicious cycle, daylight tearing us apart, nightfall stitching us back together. And I was losing myself in the contradiction. This morning, standing in the courtroom, I watched him stride to the bench, confident as ever, every word dripping with charm. My chest tightened as I realized I couldn't keep pretending. Because while the world saw us as enemies locked in a never-ending duel, I was falling for him harder than I ever meant to. "Objection, Your Honor," I snapped, my voice steadier than the storm inside me. Ethan shot me a look across the courtroom, cold, razor sharp, but there was something else beneath it. Something only I knew how to read. The jury didn't see it. The judge didn't see it. But I did. It was the same look he gave me hours later, when the lights were off and our lips were pressed together. That mixture of defiance and desperation. As if he hated needing me, but needed me all the same. And God help me, needed him too. Tonight, after yet another brutal day in court, I found myself at his apartment again. The city outside was buzzing, but in here it was quiet, intimate, dangerous. Ethan stood by the window, tie still hanging loose, the faint glow of streetlights painting his face in soft shadows. "You shouldn't be here," he muttered, not even turning to look at me. "And yet," I said, closing the door behind me, "here I am." He laughed bitterly, finally meeting my eyes. "What are we doing, really? You and me? This is insane. By day we tear each other apart. By night his voice faltered. We do this." I crossed the room slowly, every step heavy with tension. Maybe it's insane. Maybe it's wrong. But it feels real. His jaw clenched, his chest rising and falling as if he was holding something back. For a moment, I thought he'd push me away. Instead, he reached for me, pulling me into him with a force that knocked the air from my lungs. His mouth crashed against mine, angry, desperate, hungry. I kissed him back with everything I had, because no matter how wrong it was, I couldn't stop. I didn't want to. When we finally broke apart, breathless and shaken, Ethan whispered the words I'd been afraid to hear. "I can't keep hiding like this." My heart froze, because I knew exactly what he meant. The double life, the secrecy, the endless push and pull, it was killing us both. But choosing between him and the career I'd fought so hard for, that was a battle I wasn't ready to face. Yet as I looked into his eyes, I realized I might not have a choice. because this wasn't just lust anymore. I was in love with him. And if love is the one thing powerful enough to ruin us, it might also be the only thing that could save us. Ethan's words haunted me long after I left his apartment that night. I can't keep hiding like this. They echoed in my head like a verdict I wasn't ready to hear. I'd built my whole life around controlling the evidence, the arguments, the way juries saw me. But love refused to be cross-examined. It refused to be silenced. The next morning, the courtroom was packed. The case we were on had drawn local media corruption, money laundering, a high-profile client. The air buzzed with tension, cameras outside ready to capture whichever lawyer emerged victorious. I told myself I could focus, that I could separate Ethan from Ethan. But the second he walked into the room, everything inside me clenched. He looked like he hadn't slept. His jaw was tight, his eyes shadowed, and when he glanced at me, I saw it. The war raging inside him, the same one tearing me apart. And then he did something reckless, something only I would notice. He hesitated just half a second too long before delivering a line he should have nailed. The jury didn't catch it, the judge didn't either. But I did, and my stomach dropped. He was unraveling. That night I didn't wait for him to call. I went straight to his place, pounding on the door like a man who had run out of excuses. When he opened it, he didn't look surprised. Just tired. So damn tired. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered. "Then don't." I shot back, stepping inside before he could stop me. "Don't keep pretending we're enemies when we're not. Don't keep acting like this is nothing when you know it's everything." His voice cracked. "If anyone finds out, then they'll find out." I cut him off, my chest heaving. "I'm done hiding. From them. From myself. From you." For a moment, silence stretched between us. Then he pulled me in, not with the desperation of before, but with something gentler, something braver. His lips met mine like an answer, like surrender. And for the first time, I felt the fight draining out of me. The weeks that followed weren't easy. Whispers spread in the courthouse, two rivals spending too much time together. Rumors of late-night meetings. We denied nothing, but confirmed even less. Still, in the shadows, in the quiet, we built something fragile but real. And then came the verdict of the case. We stood on opposite sides of the courtroom, hearts racing. When the jury foreman read the words, the weight of it hit both of us. My client had won. By all accounts, it should have been my moment of triumph. But as Ethan lowered his head, disappointment flashing across his face, victory felt hollow. Because what did it matter, winning against the man I loved? After the gavel struck, after the crowd dispersed, I found him in the hallway. He stood by the window, sunlight spilling over him, his expression unreadable. "You fought hard," he said softly, almost to himself. "So did you," I replied. He turned then, eyes locking on mine. "Maybe it's time we stop fighting each other." Something inside me broke and healed all at once. I crossed the space between us, ignoring the lingering staff, the emptying corridors, the risk of being seen. My hand brushed his, and this time he didn't pull away. Neither did I. It wasn't a kiss, not yet. Just a touch. But it was enough. Enough to tell the world we weren't hiding anymore. Months later, people still whispered. Some colleagues raised their eyebrows, some shook their heads. A few even smiled knowingly. But none of it mattered. We weren't rivals anymore, not in the way that counted. We were partners in work sometimes, in life always. One evening, as we sat on his balcony watching the city lights flicker below, Ethan turned to me and said, "You know, I used to think loving you would ruin me. And now?" I asked, heart skipping. He smiled faintly, reaching for my hand. "Now I know it saved me." I leaned into him, resting my head against his shoulder. The noise of the city faded, the chaos of the courtroom forgotten. All that was left was this two men who had spent too long pretending, finally daring to be real. I had once thought we were doomed to live in contradiction, be day enemies, by night lovers. But love has a way of rewriting the script. And for the first time in my life, I didn't want to win against Ethan. I just wanted to win with him. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.